Why are you biting me?
Oh, and this is how we get down. What is good, everybody? Welcome into your Tuesday edition of Coaching Company Live here on the Stadium Network and everywhere that Stadium lives. YouTube TV, Direct TV. Oh, yeah, Amazon Prime Video. We are in over 100 million homes every single day live at 10 a.m. Eastern Time. And do not forget, every Thursday, it's our other show, our pro wrestling show. It's 11 a.m. So we have 2 full hours right here on the Stadium Network every Thursday as well, the Coach and a Bro show. Now, before we look forward today, another fun show. We must look back. And it was a kiss your sister kind of Monday. Everybody went 1-1 except for our resident cash register. That means today you better double down because Charles does not have 2 losing days in a row. And oh, by the way, the Braves last night, I knew I should have played the over. They were down 10-1, came back to cut it 13-9. That's all right. We live for another day. Now, as I mentioned, busy day at the Brands every single day. Now, 2 p.m. Eastern Time, I've got a brand new radio show on Sirius XM called Off the Ropes with the Coach. We encourage you to subscribe if you don't already. When you're driving around, just listen to all your pro wrestling talk. On-demand Coach and Bro show. It is absolutely flying. It is absolutely cruising. And you can listen to it on demand, our Monday episode, and then again on Thursday live. And then, of course, the last word last night, I had to dip out. Your boy's voice is a little bit raspy. We've been doing a ton of content down here outside of the friendly confines. You can see from the painting behind me, I am right on the beach. I am in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Thursday night live on ESPN, our final PFL World Tournament night. 3 more $500,000 will be handed out to 3 PFL World Champions. So with all the housekeeping being done, I'm ready to fly. Let's bring in the company. It's time to beat the books. Oh, you can feel the vibe. You can feel the energy. 2 weeks from Thursday, gentlemen, we start the NFL season. Thursday, September 4th, Eagles hosting the Cowboys. I'm here for it. Let's say good morning first to the best-looking man, with all due respect, to our man, King Lettuce, in the crew. My man, Zeno. Hello, Zeno.
Coach, great to be with you. Fellas, good to see you as always. Soupy, once again, the tip to the cap when last week we went mano-a-mano, and you were right, I was wrong. So we wanted to give you the flowers personally, but we're looking to bounce back today.
Wow, I like it. great competition amongst the boys. So let's go right next door to the man he was just talking about. He's got the best damn beard in the game. Soupy, what's good?
Good morning, everybody. I appreciate you, Zeno. Thank you very much. Again, that's all we're about. We're just about cashing tickets, even if it's a friendly competition. And that's why I am excited for more friendly competition, because we have meaningful football this weekend, week 0 of college football.
Can't believe, isn't it over in Ireland? Isn't it Iowa State and Kansas
Yep.
State?
Yep.
If I'm a head coach, by the way, am I pissed that one of my conference games is going to be played in the most unorthodox way possible? Or is it great attention on the school? Zeno, what do you think on that?
It's both, but both the coaches agreed to it ahead of time. They knew they were getting into when they signed the deal, so it's not like it was a surprise and the conference took it away from them. But listen, just keep the kids away from the Irish pubs. I think you'll be okay on Saturday.
We all saw what happened to Pat McAfee when he took his show over there for College Game Day. It wasn't a pretty sight. So you're right, Zeno. You're right. Now, this man, I waited till last because I can't remember the last time that he did not have a check mark next to his name, and he comes out of a corner like a rabid dog. He's live from the dirty. Big Chuck, good morning.
Morning, Coach, man. Morning, company. Yeah, a little frustrating day, but I think once the dust settles by the end of the week, we will have another nice, winning, profitable week here at Coaching Company.
Yes, we will. So let's set the stage. We got best bets coming up right now. Coming up in 15 minutes, we look at our front page news. A ton of news coming out of the NFL. Zeno and Soupy will weigh in on that. Bottom of the hour, our next two teams on our countdown to the NFL. The Browns and the Bengals take center stage after the Bengals played Washington last night. And then coming up in about 45 minutes, are we entering into a new era in the NFL where the aging quarterback is all the rage? We'll discuss that coming up. But I ask a question, gentlemen, who wants the smoke? Who wants the... Oh, Soupy says this guy. Soupy, best bets. You're up. Go.
I'm going to start in the American League East. I'm going Orioles, Red Sox over 9.5. I know that's a big one, but the Orioles have Tomoyuki Sugano going, and in 5 straight starts, he's gone under 6 innings and has allowed over 3 runs. And there's Walker Buehler on the other side. We've seen him struggle all season. Both the Red Sox and the Orioles have been top 12 in weighted on base average over the last 2 weeks. I think we're going to see a lot of runs. And then Yankees are hot right now. They've won 3 straight. They swept in St. Louis. I got them winning tonight. Carlos Rendon going against Tampa Bay. Last time he faced them, 6 innings, only allowed 2 hits and no runs. I think he gets them again tonight.
Speaking of the Cardinals, Soupy, do you know where your boy is? Zeno, don't laugh at him. I know it was a 3. We all know it was a 3. It's okay. It's okay. Soupy, you know where I'm going tonight?
You're going to a lovely, lovely dinner, probably. That's going to cost more than I can even afford.
I just said, speaking of the Cardinals are in town to play the Marlins.
Oh.
And word on the street is there's a few tickets to be had for Marlins games these days. So we're going to go because a young lady we work with at the PFL, her better half is a pitcher for the Cardinals. So she took care of the tickets. Again, I think we could have got them on our own. All right, Soupy, average start. All right, Zeno, I need you to pick us up, big boy. Best bets, go.
Well, the chuckle was because once again, Soupy said Carlos Rendon when it is Carlos Rodon. We did it last week too. Remember when Anthony Rendon was the guy for the Angels? So
it's not his specialty.
No, I said Rondon last week, and you corrected me.
Well, we're going to get it right at some point.
We are going to get it right. Don't worry about it. We still love you. All right, let's get to the plays here. Nationals first 5 plus a half here against the New York Mets, who are wholly untrustworthy at this point. Started for the Mets, David Peterson, a 1.05 ERA in July, 7.04 ERA in August, higher on the road than at home this year. Jake Irvin, a Mets are batting 198 against him with an OPS of just 586. Leave the Nets bullpen out. Let's take the half run here on the first 5. And then we're going to go to Milwaukee, Chicago, game 2, folks. They're playing the doubleheader today. Second half of the doubleheader got rained out yesterday, so they're playing 2 today. Look at the huge pitching advantage they have with this doubleheader. It's Brandon Woodruff against Jamison Tyone. Tyone making his first start back off the IL, hasn't pitched since June 29th. Always fade those guys. He's got an ERA of 6.30 against the Brewers this year. And Brandon Woodruff has been one of the best starters in baseball since he's come back. Brewers bullpen, by the way, since August 1st, top 5 in ERA and fewest home runs allowed. Game 2, Milwaukee money line.
Now, Zeno, you took game number 2. You had all that great analysis. I'm going to take game number 1, but I don't have that great analysis. I just know that the Brewers are red hot. Last night, when I should have played them straight, I played them on the over, and it was 7-0. The over was 8, so I was kicking myself. I had a bad day yesterday with my picks, but the Brewers are red hot. The Cubs are not playing well, so I'm just leaning into the momentum. So I love the Brewers on the money line plus 115, so I would love a sweep, so both of us can cash our tickets. Then the numbers were too high on the Phillies and the Braves. If you knew yesterday, if you watched yesterday, I nailed that Phillies over because I said Seattle would come in, would have a slow start. Phillies were up 6-7-0 before Seattle even knew what hit them. It ended up being 12-7, an easy cash to the over. I think the Phillies, again, today are the dominant team because Seattle's been all over the place. They were in New York, Williamsport, now Philadelphia. They're exhausted. So I like the Phillies on the money line because straight they're like minus 180, minus 190. And then the Braves, same thing. They're around minus 170, minus 180, depending on your book. So I like them both a lot. So I'm putting them together into a money line parlay, and it comes out to plus 152 tonight. All right, Big Chuck, coming over to you. What do you like today?
Day soccer, Champions League qualifiers. We've made it to round 4, and we have Rangers and Club Brugge or Brugge. And with Rangers averaging 2.5 team goals at home during this tournament, and Bruges scoring an average of 1 team goal away, I'm going to go ahead and back the over 2.75 full-time goals, as I could see 4 or more total goals in this one. That way we can get full pay.
You know, I was watching some of the soccer yesterday, Charles, and I heard the announcers go, this game, and then the international break. How are we still already talking about the international break before the season even started?
We have one come up in September, already going to one. You know, World Cup coming up. We're going to have a lot of those throughout this year and next year leading up to the big event.
Can you imagine if the NFL had a international break like week 5 where the entire league got the week off? I bet the teams would love it. But they stagger those. I think it's unfair. Week 10, week 5. I digress. All right. Where is Zeno's? Oh, there he is. It's never a good day for Zeno until his best friend, Marky Model, shows up. Mark, how are you this morning?
Coach, I'm doing absolutely fantastic. I'm so glad Zeno's here. We cashed the Kyle Freeland. The only Kyle Freeland play yesterday was part of our play of the day, and that cashed. So model my ass. I can't wait for today.
I'm sorry, that hit my funny bone. Something else. All right, what do we have for the JTS play of the day today?
We're going to start with Minnesota Lynx Kayla McBride to get at least 15 points and assists. She's cleared this line in 12 of her last 13. And she loves playing in New York, where she's gone over in 5 of her last 6 in New York. We're going to pair that with Milwaukee's Brewers Bryce Terrain to get a hit for us this afternoon in Chicago. He's done this safely in 12 of his last 15, 9 of his last 10 on the road. Love this spot for Bryce, especially since we're going to have DG with boots on the ground in Wrigley today. Put these plays together for a plus 109, just as Stat Sports play of the day.
Wait a second. What did you just say? And there is our QR code. Download it. This is the time to do it. Use our code BTT30, and you're going to get 30 days for free. It's going to take you all the way into deep September, and by then we're going to be every single day, all football, all the time. Did you just bury the lead that DG skipped the show today to go to Wrigley Field?
Not skip the show, traveling for his work. He will be sitting with the bleacher creatures today. I'm not covering for him.
He's on a Tuesday. Zeno, is that skipping the show if he's not on today?
Well, if he's not at work, then he's not on the show. Then he is, quote, skipping the show.
Well,
the reason is
traveling. I've done a show from an airplane before. So that's what I'm saying. It's all right, Mark. I know you guys take care of each other. It's all right. It's all right. He'll be at Wrigley. He better send a video in or something. That's all I'm saying. Real quick, I got about 45 seconds. Zeno, with the new adjusted preseason for NFL, we have 2 weeks from Thursday when it starts. But do you think now that they keep going less and less, we're going to continue to see that? because it feels like now I can't touch any of the preseason games this weekend because I just don't know who's going to play. This is kind of like week 4 now.
Yeah, this is the one week you want to stay away from unless you have a concerted, battle where you can look at 2 quarterbacks who are fighting for a job and then have to play well. You're going to get so much variance in these games. Probably pick a lot of first half unders because you're going to see some real sloppy play.
It's going to be ugly. By the way, Soupy, you would have loved to have been with me yesterday as I take a left turn from football. I sat in the room with Dalton Rasta and Fabian Edwards. They almost came to blows, and I was in the middle of it. I was about to take a right hook and a left elbow at the same table. I don't know if you've seen it on my social media. It's the full episode comes out tomorrow. But Soupy, I thought about you. I needed you. We had 10 people in the room to break up the fight if they fought. It was bananas.
Maybe it's me to bring me on the road. I could be that bodyguard, stand right in the middle of 2 gigantic guys who know.
We already saw you twerking with the Savannah.
I was going to say,
what am I supposed to do with that? Yeah, they show up. Weren't you the guy twerking with the Savannah? No, that wasn't me. That was the other guy with the big beard. All right, we're just getting started. I think we're going to have a best day with our picks. Now, front page news coming up next. A ton of NFL news coming out yesterday. We'll talk about it today. Then, bottom of the hour, we're talking about the AFC North, the Bengals and the Browns. Is either team a playoff team? We discussed it's a Tuesday, getting closer and closer. It's Coaching Company live, as always, right here on Stadium.
Hey, I'm Zach, and this is Deemer Box. What is a Deemer Box? A Deemer Box is a rugged portable speaker. It's a vault to hold all your things, keep them dry and safe, and it's a charger. You're looking at 40 hours of playtime. So we charge this thing maybe once a week when we're traveling and adventuring. There's volume controls on the outside of the box here, so you can turn it up and down. If you have your phone inside there charging, it's nice and safe and dry. All right, so we're gonna hook the Deemer Box to our phone. I'm gonna show you some tricks. You just hit the button on the front. You've got the battery gauge here. That lets you know how full your battery is. You got a volume here as well. So you just turn it on, go to your Bluetooth, Deemer Box DV2, and it says when it's paired. Yep. And so inside the lid, if you're just jamming tunes and you're not around water or anything like that, you can leave this open. But if you're going into a wet or muddy, snowy environment, inside the lid right here is a plug. You undo this plug, it pops out, put it right in the top right here, give it a few turns, turn it on. Now you've got a waterproof speaker box. Now you can play it for the whales. I think there's a use for each individual person. The Deemer Box, like this is mine with all my stickers, my things on it. You can kind of make them your own. That's part of the love of them. I have a connection with these because it's like a good belt or like a good pair of boots. You can cater your lifestyle to your Deemer Box, but there's no other speaker that charges your things and holds all your stuff, keeps it dry and safe. That's what sets this apart. So I'd recommend y'all trying a Deemer Box and bring it because it's so much more than a speaker.
I love my Deemer Box. If you go to deemerbox.com, use our code COACH10, you can get 10% off anything site-wide. Thank you to Zach Brown. We're back live on the Stadium Network in just 5 seconds. All right, welcome back, everybody. It is Coach and Company. We continue to do the show from the road. I will be back next Monday, flying home on Friday. So this marathon 3-week road trip will come to an end, and then I'm going to be settled inside the friendly confines, getting ready for a gigantic next-level NFL season. Now, for those of you who watch every single day on our YouTube channel, we are so close. And I mean, YouTube is messing with us today. In fact, we are over 500 on our brand new show. We started a couple of months ago, brand new channel. And then it goes below to 498. It's got a weird algorithm. Bottom line is this. If you have not subscribed to our new YouTube channel, I encourage you to do it right now because that's the number. That's the number, 500. We need to go. Oh, producer man just told me We are at 501. So we have done it. And now we can do all of the other premium work that we want to do. So now, as of this moment, BTT will be separate. Coaching Bro, the last word over here. Then Coaching Company, weekday wagers over here. And they're completely separate now. So thank you very, very much. It's going to do a lot for us and a lot for you. All right, a lot of topics out there in the world of sports in a new little segment we like to call Front Page News. All right, Soupy and Zeno join me now. And gentlemen, we start with one of, if not the biggest story coming out of the Cincinnati Bengals organization. They played last night. Trey Hendrickson, their all-everything defensive lineman, he was there, but he wasn't playing. And he says, you know what? I'm not playing until I get a new deal. And him and the team have agreed on the length of the deal, the total average annual salary. But, Soupy, what they have not agreed on is how much of the guarantee it will be. They only want to do 1 year. He wants it way more than that. Soupy, is Trey Hendrickson going to be a Cincinnati Bengal on week number 1?
If they're this close to a deal and they just need one more aspect of it, I think that he is going to be a Bengal. It looked like a few weeks ago that they were just going to trade him because they weren't going to come to any sort of agreement. It looks like they're moving in the right direction. So, yes, I do believe he'll be a Bengal in week 1.
Well, he'll be on the roster. He's not going to be playing because I don't believe this deal gets done because they are way too far apart on the most important part of the contract, which is the guaranteed money, because that's really all they know that they can get. And if he wants 3 years of guarantees and they're only offering 1, that's a big gap to close. They've already put out there their trade demands. Teams have been calling. I don't think they'll get the deal done by week 1, but I do think that Trey Hendrickson is willing to hold out. And that said, that's going to push this thing forward here, and I wouldn't be surprised to see him traded to somebody else.
I don't mind it when a player like this holds out. Normally, I'm not a fan of it, but he has 2 straight years of dominating play. He knows his team needs him if they want to be a playoff team this year. You agree, Zeno, or don't?
Well, they need like 3 Trey Hendricksons. Their defense,
that's true.
Like one of them is not enough at this point in time.
Right? They're not going to beat the Ravens every week, 50-45 or whatever that was. But the Bengals, this is what they do, and they stand on it. Instead of when you have a great player, you pay him. They did it on offense. Why can't you do it on defense? I don't get it, but I agree a little bit with both of you. All you got to do is raise the guarantee, but they won't do it because that's not who they are. Now let's stay in we're not staying in the AFC North. We're going to go to the AFC South. And Cam Ward was the number 1 pick in this year's draft. He's got a little bit of an attitude, but he's become a team favorite because he shows up early and he stays late. So on Monday, he got in a little scuffle with a defensive lineman. And as he was throwing a touchdown pass to Calvin Ridley, he got in somebody's face. The name was Jeffrey Simmons, to be exact. And then an offensive lineman comes to his aid. Soupy, let me ask you this. Is it ever okay for a quarterback to get in a dust-up where we're shoving on heads and shoving on face masks with a defensive lineman when you're the number 1 pick and you're the starter?
I think it would be on Simmons if he even did anything to Cam Ward, because that's the golden boy right now. That's the franchise quarterback. If Simmons even injured him, he's going to be on his you know what, looking for a job. You know what? And I love Cam Ward. I think he's a great quarterback. And one of those reasons is because he's showing that he's a true leader. And you already saw his offensive line went in his defense. They're already backing up the rookie quarterback. So I don't mind it. This type of stuff happens all the time in the preseason and in training camp.
Well, a couple of things. Number one, Jeffrey Simmons is a notorious bleep talker throughout his entire career. They had joint practices with the Falcons, and he was doing it the entire time, sort of picking fights and jabbing, and it runs his mouth a whole lot. Doesn't mean he's not a great player, because he is, but he loves to talk. Number two, as Soupy said, you broke the cardinal rule, and it doesn't matter who you are. The dude wearing red is not allowed to be touched ever. So you don't break that rule in practice at camp. because you don't get your quarterback hurt in any size, way, shape, or form. You break that rule, you're going to pay the price. The whole team ended up running 2 plays later after it didn't stop, and they ended practice. Don't touch the dude in red.
If you've ever played football at any level, you know the worst thing that you can do is have to run after practice in August. It's the worst. It is the worst, even at the professional level. The reason I love this story is because Cam Ward is celebrating a touchdown to Calvin Ridley in practice. That's the kind of vibe that I need for a team that has been absolutely terrible for the last several years. They need a change in culture, and that's exactly what they have. So Cam Ward knew no matter what he did, and it was like hand gestures, nothing was going to happen to him, even from this dude. So I absolutely love that it even happened and why it happened. Now, speaking of rookies, guys, Travis Hunter, who claimed when he got drafted, hey, I'm going to play every down on offense and of defense of the entire season. And then we all laughed, and he goes, no, I'm dead serious. Well, he hasn't even made it through training camp being able to play every down on both sides. He's been out with an injury for several practices already. So, Soupy, can we kick this thing to the curb, the notion that he's going to play, let's say, even over 85% of the snaps on both sides of the ball?
He said he would retire if he couldn't play full-time on both sides. So he's already broken that rule. There's a big difference between playing both sides full-time in college and in NFL, because in the NFL, you're playing the best of the best every single week. You're not playing a Colorado State in 1 week where you got the easier competition. He's very special on both sides of the ball. He's a great route runner. He's great in coverage. I think it's going to be more or less he's going to play more wide receiver because he's already, I believe, on the depth chart, the second cornerback on the Jaguars. So I don't think he's going to play as much cornerback as he will wide receiver because he's behind Brian Thomas as the second wide receiver.
Yeah, I would tend to agree that I think he's going to play more on defense than he is on offense, to be perfectly honest. They already have a 1,000-yard receiver on the offensive side of the ball. And even though he's listed on the depth chart as a backup corner, he's going to do that defense a lot more plus and a lot more good, especially when they move into nickel coverage, than he can on the offensive side of the ball. Travis Hunter cannot fix Trevor Lawrence's mediocrity issues, and that's not going to change. So they're going to need him a lot more in defense.
Boy, he got his bag, though, didn't he? Only quarterback still with his team from that draft class. He got his bag, and he is average, I agree, at best. Now, this next topic I just thought would be fun because if there's one thing I despise, it is going to a sports bar and watching NFL fans cheer. And then when you go, oh, did your team score a touchdown? No, that was for my fantasy. It's absolute BS. And you never know how deep something goes until you actually see proof of it. So last night, Brian Robinson, he plays for Washington. He's not a bad player, but he's not Bijan Robinson, who plays for the Atlanta Falcons and is an all-pro. So there's a lot of fantasy football drafts going on. Check out the video of this one when this young cat made, well, what some would call a simple mistake. Producer man, roll tape. Or not. Okay. Well, what happened was, and I'm sure we probably froze because this platform sucks, is a young man drafted Brian Robinson when he thought he was drafting Bijan Robinson. So you're my fantasy guy, Soupy. Would you allow him to go back on a pick when it was official? And then he goes, no. I meant Bijan in the first round.
I've seen things like this happen where, mostly on the online draft, you got the fat thumbs, you hit the wrong button, you go to your commissioner and say, hey, I meant to pick this guy. Sometimes, yes, they will let you retract your pick. And these, I saw it. It's sort of like one of those like in-person drafts where they have the B. Robinson. So you can mix it up, but yeah, it's the different team. And there's a difference because Bijan is a first rounder, guaranteed, one of the best running backs in fantasy football, while Brian Robinson is more or less of like a fifth round or fifth, sixth rounder. So there is a huge difference in the pick.
Not only that, Brian Robinson's about to get traded out of Washington. are the rumors right now, which is why he didn't play last night. So he might even be on a different team again. That's still not the Falcons and Bijan Robinson. So, look, I think you let it slide once as a quote understandable mistake, but he doesn't get a second one from me. Forgive me, fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice, shame on you. Know how it goes, whatever. But the point is that that's a one-time alibi. After that, whatever name you call out, that's what you're stuck with, pal.
All right, well, we've got the video now, so let's take a quick look and see if we would change our opinion on that. Roll tape.
Oh, wait, Robinson Jr.
You know what? I think I am going to change my opinion because that's the 101. That's the first thing. It's not like you're under a clock. You have time to kind of look like, all right, are we ready to start the draft? Wait.
And that was like a fancy draft, wasn't it? It was like the board and the whole thing.
But you know what the best part was? Is the dude walked up there with such confidence and pounded the board multiple times after he put it on there as if to say, this is it. This is it right here.
This is how our draft would have gone if it was the three of us and the rest of our clown show here at Coaching Company. Oh, that's hilarious. All right, coming up on the other side, we're about halfway home. We're looking at the Bengals and the Browns. Where will they end up? Is there value anywhere? It's Coaching Company Live, as always, right here on Stadium.
Please welcome Paul Konerko, AJ Persinski, Mark Marley, Ozzie Guillen.
With Metallica blaring, Paul Konerko bounces one to short. Isaac Para pulling off a trick play. And just like that, one pitch. That's it for Paul Konerko. He gets another huge ovation. Two-time All-Star. Was the AL Silver Slugger winner at catcher in 2012. And a slow tapper to the right side. A glove flip from Spence over to Green. Cullen behind the back at first. And another standing ovation for A.J. Persinski. Here in right field, Chicago White Sox history. And now South Trimble on a couple hops to Ryan Cox, who pulls off the professor. A strike to Bill Leroy over at first. And Mark Burley gets the job done, throwing to A.J. Persinski. Bird, chopper to the right side. Nice scoop. South Trimble, and then Stephen Cullen able to drag the toe on first. And now Ozzie Guillen does have something to argue about. And Ozzie Guillen dancing with the Savannah Bananas. What a funny world we live in.
If I can see Ozzie Guillen, Zeno dance like that, I don't care what game it's at. How good was that?
Yeah, I don't know if I want to see that again, but nonetheless, I'll have fun with anything Savannah Bananas at this point.
They continue to skyrocket. They have found something, and Super, you got to experience it up close. I mean, these guys are selling out every game they go to, regardless of size of stadium.
I've been to thousands of baseball games as a fan and as a worker. Nothing compared to going to that Savannah Bananas game. And I talked to Jesse Cole, who runs this team. He said it, fan first, and that's what he's doing, and that's why this has been a success.
They are leaving millions and millions of dollars on the table right now.
He doesn't care. He doesn't care. That's not what it's about for him.
I know. We're back live in 5 seconds. Okay, welcome back, everybody. It's Coaching Company here live on the Stadium Network, available in over 100 million homes every single weekday. We are counting down to the start of the NFL season, or as I like to call Christmas Day or Christmas morning. 6 months of football is what every sports show and sports betting show craves. So we continue our countdown today. We'll get to the Bengals and the Browns shortly. But first, as we do every single Tuesday, for those of you out there who play Prize Picks, we want to supply a few for you. So, Soupy, big boy, I know you brought 3 to the table today. Where are you headed, sir?
Yeah, I brought the picks. Peyton, where are you, buddy? Where are you today?
Hey, he's moving back into school. He's starting school today.
He could have sent in a video. So I'm going to start with Christopher Sanchez, more than 6.5 strikeouts. He's going against the Mariners. They are 27th in strikeout rate. And this guy has a 19 strikeout game on his plate this season. I think he could get to 7. I'm going to go with Francisco Lindor, more than 7.5 hitter fantasy score. He's gotten this in 5 straight. He's facing Jake Irving of the Nationals, and he is 6 for 16 against him. And I think it'll be Lindor and a few more Mets to get hits against Irving. That's why I'm going with the more 5.5 hits allowed, because the Mets, they're great right now, and they are hitting. They have the second most hits since August 12th. And Irving, he's gone over this in 4 of his last 5.
All right, very, very good. By the way, when we start week 1 of the NFL season, we're going to be doing a lot of fantasy. I know I teased about it, but you're our fantasy guru, so we'll slide that in for the prize picks. We'll have everybody covered every single Tuesday right here. Also, a look ahead, Soupy, at the biggest games of the week in the NFL and try to beat some lines, as the lines are always moving throughout the week. So we'll do that starting on Tuesday, September 2nd. All right, our countdown continues. It's time to bet the futures. All right, we stay in the AFC North today. There is the number at almost every single book. We use BetMGM, FanDuel, a variety 9.5 juice to the over. So, Zena, I'm going to start with you. The Bengals last year were very exciting because they scored a ton of points. However, they couldn't stop anybody. When you look at the Bengals this year, are they a team that can get to 10 for you?
No. I mean, I don't trust their coach. I think Zach Taylor is a bad coach. I trust my ex-wife more than I trust Zach Taylor.
Oh, my God.
This is not a team defensively that you want to back at all. And as great as Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase are, it's not going to be enough over the course of 17 games. I mean, until they get this thing fixed. And, oh, by the way, the rest of the roster brings nothing else outside of those two. I mean, Hendrickson is not on the field, so after Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase, there's really nothing about the rest of this roster that stands out as spectacular. And last night showed us more than anything, their offensive line, still bad. Also,
I saw some Twitter handle that, you know how they say now and then, or, basically they're making fun of Joe Burrow making so much money in the offensive line, saying, here, everybody just run towards him and hit him as hard as you possibly can. Because that's the world that Joe Burrow has lived in for the last several years and has still produced. So, Soupy, Zeno is dead on. This is a team I think has been so focused on the Trey Hendrickson situation, on making sure their wideouts get paid, that they haven't put the full team around them. Your thoughts?
They've never had a good offensive line, and this has really hindered their team, especially when I'm looking at what they are capable of, because Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase, that is the best quarterback wide receiver duo in the league. I even like T. Higgins as a second wide receiver. And Chase Brown, he can be a good running back if he has run blocking, which I don't think he's going to have. They're going to have to score and score and score. And that's why we saw a lot of these games go down to just under one possession. And that's why they lost a lot of close games, because they can't contain any other team. I'm going to be looking at a lot of overs with the Browns this year, or with the Bengals this year, just because they're going to have to score because they can't stop anybody.
Well, that's exactly right. And Big Chuck, you also have to look at the rest of the division, because those are 6 of the 17 games. And you got at least 2 of the 3 teams that could sweep them, the Steelers and the Ravens. And we'll discuss the Browns in a moment. Big Chuck, I know you like to dissect from a scheduling perspective. What do you see?
I like the Bengals. A lot of people are down on them. I think they can get the 10 wins really based off the schedule. When you start with the Browns, Jags, Vikings, then Broncos, Lions, and even if they're at 7 or 8 wins come the end of the season, their final 3 games, Dolphins, Cardinals, Browns. So I think even though we needed to get there, those final 3, they make that final push and get us over that number. Yeah, definitely liking the Bengals this season.
And obviously the next question, Zeno, I'm assuming it's going to be a no from you, because I don't think 9 or 8 wins will be enough for any team to get to the playoffs.
No, because I also think they finished third in their division behind the Steelers and Ravens. So I don't think they're going to the postseason. And the AFC is too deep to make it without getting to probably 10 wins as far as the regular season is concerned.
Well, because you got the Chiefs, the Bills, and the Ravens before you even start talking about anybody else. That is deep. That is deep. Soupy, do you agree with Zeno?
Yeah, and the thing is too, the Bengals have gotten off the bad starts in the last few years. 1-3, 1-4, 0-2 have been the last 3 years that they've gotten these bad starts. If they could find maybe win 2 of the first 3 games or 3 of the first 4 games, give them a chance. But they just get off to a bad start. They have these like pushes in the middle sometimes. But no, I like that their under wins is plus money, and not to make the playoffs is plus money. I think you can make a lot of a profit from that.
Yeah, Big Chuck, are you on the other side of the fence? Because 10 or 11, it might be enough to slide in as a wild card.
I think the yes, and that may be value because they could actually get out to a 4-0, 5-0 start. Then you're looking at an astronomical number. I think you get it down and see what happens. But I definitely like this Bengals team. Yeah, get them over 9.5 wins and get them to the playoffs.
I'll just say that last year they played the Patriots in their first game. We all know probably everybody confidently picked them in their survivor pool, and everybody was gone after that first week.
I mean, Zach Taylor in his 6 years as head coach is 1-11 in the first 2 weeks of the postseason of the regular season. Yeah. I don't tell you all you need to know when you have weeks to prepare for your first 2 opponents, and you are not prepared. Screams everything about coaching, not about the roster. And Chuck, if they start out 5-0, I will buy you dinner.
Wow, it's
Consider
on
it
video.
done. Yeah,
it's on video. Not just any dinner. We're talking Morton's, Fleming's. Something good. All right. It's on the table. Chuck, I don't think you're going to win, but that's all right. It's a great way to look at it. All
we
right,
shall see.
Over to the last team in the AFC North that we need to look at, of course, the Cleveland Browns. And Zeno, there is their number, 5.5. That's about as low as you'll ever see it. Once in a while, you see 4.5, but they are a team that reportedly could start with 4 quarterbacks on their opening day roster. How bad or good do you think the Browns can be?
Well, their defense is going to be good, and it's going to be good enough to keep them in games. The question is, it's with Joe Flacco, like there's one of 3 results that you can come up with every time he throws the ball. The most beautiful spiral you've ever seen for a touchdown, a sack because he's completely immobile, or the worst pick 6 you've ever seen. So how long can he hold up and how well can he play? I don't know the answer to that. I think at some point this season, you'll see Shedeur Sanders and Dylan Gabriel play some regular snaps, and 6 may be tough, but their defense will be competitive enough to keep them in games.
It's such a unique situation, isn't it, guys, that we're talking about the old with the new. The new plays really well. All of the talking heads pick it apart. Like, we can't possibly say anything nice about Shedeur Sanders, because that would be against the narrative that he's been living with since before the draft. What if, Soupy, what if he steps in and he plays really good football? Can they follow suit as far as the team is concerned?
I think with the support that he has, he could. I love Jerry Jeudy and Cedric Tillman. Both played very well last year as a good wide receiver duo. I think Jerome Ford and Quinshon Judkins could be a good backfield tandem. And you got David Njoku, who is one of the top tight ends in the league. The weapons on the offensive side are there. You just need a guy who could get it to him. And Shedeur Sanders, I'll say it again, most accurate quarterback in college football history, 71% completion rate. And with that defense, I think anybody could step in as a quarterback and actually make this team competitive. I'll say competitive.
So is competitive, Chuck, 6 wins?
I was looking at this one trying to make out if they could get to 6 wins just based off the schedule. Maybe the Vikings, Jets, Raiders, Titans, Bears, Dolphins maybe could get to 6 there, and that's a stretch. I would probably even look at maybe the under 4.5 wins. I think this is going to be an under team. Also want to back them in a lot of unders. I agree their defense will be the strong point of this team, but yeah, I might even look at an alternate number to avoid paying any juice.
Chuck needs to stop taking a dump on the Vikings, who are not going to be a bad football team. Like they're actually going to be their defense will be one of the better ones in the league. But remember this year, they got rid of Nick Chubb after the injury. They drafted Quinshon Judkins to be their guy. He's in a little bit of trouble with the law and is currently not. They have no running back right now. Like, I think their RB1 is like Keon Johnson or somebody. I forget who it is, but it's not a very good running back. Or Jerome Ford or Dylan Sampson are their running backs. Like, it's not.
Dylan Sampson's not bad. I mean, he was good in Tennessee. I like him.
Well,
I mean, I like this discussion. Because we never know. We never know. And I think a lot of the reason, Zeno, the Vikings are getting what, like Chuck is giving them, is J.J. McCarthy. We haven't seen him in 2 years. And it's how good is he going to play? I think they can be a very good team. They were a playoff team. I agree with you, with Sam Darnold. And then they decided to get rid of him, go with it. It's fascinating.
How low bar is to clear Sam Darnold, coach?
What's that?
That's not a high bar to clear Sam Darnold.
No, but I mean, they were 13-3 at one point with him as a quarterback, and then he played horrible the last week and in the playoffs. And I get all of that. So it's fascinating. And this is why we love NFL, isn't it, guys? This is these discussions. Now, if somebody lays a minus 1,100, you're just an idiot. So we know they're probably not going to be a playoff team, but still, that's the number that's out there. Maybe it's a long-term investment, 1,100 to win 100. Great, spicy discussion, gentlemen. All right, we're continuing on here on Stadium on this Tuesday as the countdown continues. And I know a lot of you out there are feeling the same way that we are. Can we just get there? Can we just get there? The last 2 weeks are always the hardest weeks to get to because you're so excited because we all love football so very much, not just the NFL, but college football as well. And I should tell you that every single Friday, we're not going to have a Saturday morning show, but what we are going to do is have a full segment, 10 to 15 minutes, counting down to the biggest games of the weekend, so we have you covered on both sides. Coach and Company, we continue on right here live, as always, on Stadium.
Nice.
I know. Rostov my guy. He said, do my eyes and ears deceive me? No Jonathan Coachman. Gabby, quick, change the passwords. Lock him out. It's your show from now on. The Gabby AF show. Well, it's the Gabby and Tommy AF show right now because I couldn't do it without Tommy tonight. But it's true. I do. If you guys like the vibes better, just saying, maybe Coach will hear from somewhere back there. We're thinking about it. Producer man's like, maybe I'll change the passwords now because he did tell me I'm easier to deal with. So, he might have. I don't know. I don't want to get him in trouble. But yeah, I mean, what would you have graded Raw tonight on a scale of 1 to 5? I'm going to do 1 to 5.
Wow. God.
It's a simple question, by the way, and it's a hard
2.5. I mean, nothing.
Wow. Okay. 2.5.
The end is predictable. Man, if it was Natty tonight, it would have been a 5.
I agree.
And I never lay on stuff like that. But when you have an opportunity to do something with a character and change them a complete 180, and you don't do it, and then you blow the opportunity about the pregnancy announcement, I got to give it a 2.5, man. I'm telling you, I'd rather have Naomi say it in the ring than go into a pre-tape that they shot, with Stephanie on her podcast. And that's all it's doing is promoting the podcast. I'm not going to lay any more into that.
I almost wish if they were going to do it on the podcast too, just play the tape.
I miss one show, one last word, Soupy, and Big Tommy shows up in a pink sugar something shirt. What are we doing?
Maybe his wife picked it out for him. Maybe he looked nice maybe his wife thought he looked nice in it. I don't know.
Is that where you're going to go with? He looks nice in a pink sugar shirt.
If the wife picked it out, and
I know the wife. I would never say anything bad about the wife because if you knew Michelle, you would be afraid, very afraid. Zeno, would you ever wear a pink shirt that said sugar on it?
I don't wear anything pink. It's just I'm more of an earthy tones kind of guy.
You seem that way to me. You seem that way.
Not even a pastel. You wouldn't rock a pastel.
We're back live in 5 seconds. All right, welcome back, everybody. We continue live here on Coach and Company on the Stadium Network as we continue the countdown. We're now less than 2 weeks till the end of August. Then it's going to be an incredible season for us. Now, we're going to be all over college football as well. I just said that before the break. And years ago, when I was at ESPN, every single July or early August, they would bring in all the coaches from the SEC, the ACC, the Big 12. It was awesome. I loved it. I remember I was talking to Nick Saban, and he was telling us stories about him and Bill Belichick being best friends, and they would go to Rolling Stones concerts and Van Halen and all these different people. And I thought, man, we don't know a lot about them. But I never thought, Zeno, there would be a world where Bill Belichick and Dabo Swinney would be in the same room at the same table interviewing each other as a part of the lead up to the ACC football season. So I ask you, who is going to be more entertaining this year? The trials and tribulations of Bill Belichick and his PR coordinator, or Dabo trying to stay relevant, refusing to address the transfer portal?
Well, Dabo is going to be more interesting because his team is going to win more games and they're going to be vying for a national title.
Yes.
So it's always in college football. That's always more interesting. I get it. It's Bill Belichick. I mean, look, just go look at it happen at Colorado. They were exciting when they surprised the world and won when nobody thought they did. But as soon as they came back down to earth, we stopped screaming about Colorado every 5 seconds. So unless Bill Belichick starts winning games at an abnormal rate, then he's not going to be the most interesting story. Teams that win are more interesting in college football.
That is true. I think it was the first time that Fox and ESPN ever sent their pregame show to the same game in Colorado. That was a little embarrassing to me. But Soupy, I think Zeno's right. If they start 1-2, 0-3, something like that, the bloom is going to be off the rose very, very quickly.
It will, but it's still going to get attention because it's Bill Belichick coaching in college. Colorado wasn't good that first year with Dion and that crew, and they were still getting national TV games every single week. It's just going to be something to look at. Yeah, if they don't start well, maybe the next year they don't get that amount of attention. But it is Clemson just because they are going to compete for a national championship. This team is good. Kate Klubnik is one of the best quarterbacks in the country. So I'm paying attention to Clemson more. But you know UNC is the real show.
Yeah, because also we know that he's got his PR coordinator. And the second question I brought up just for Zeno, because I like to see his reactions to stuff. And they released the full episode of the Kelsey's podcast, guys. And did you guys see that Taylor Swift did not know what a first down was? And she thought that both Kelsey brothers were on the field at the same time playing against each other, despite the fact that they're on offense. Both on offense. Zeno, does it shock you that Taylor Swift, prior to dating Travis Kelce, did not know what a first down was, or that both brothers did not line up across from each other?
Taylor Swift knowing nothing about sports is the least surprising thing that I would have thought in quite some time. I mean, I it's kind of akin to people who don't listen to Taylor Swift's music knowing absolutely nothing about Taylor Swift. So, yeah, I wouldn't expect. I to this point, I still don't think she understands the nuances of the game. She's the one in the skybox. We only see her jumping up and down, screaming after they score because she understands if you cross that little white line, good things happen. But every other part of the game, she's going, "Is that good for us?
No,
Is that supposed to happen? What does that mean?"
I did laugh last year when they threw a little out pattern and Travis gained 2 yards, and then they flipped to her and she was going absolutely bananas. And it was like from the 21 to the 23. And I screamed to my kids going, no, it's got to stop. It's got to stop. We can't keep doing this. But as long as we've got Raphael around, you can bet on how many times they show Taylor Swift in a game. By the way, I don't know if you guys saw this, but there could be competition in the, what do they call them, WAG world? Because you guys see who Justin Herbert is dating?
No.
Ooh. She is an influencer of the highest regard. And they are now taking some of that attention away from said Kelsey. Look it up. Trust me. Look it up.
I mean, Josh Allen married Haley Steinfeld for crying out loud.
Yeah, he locked that down. And she moved to Buffalo, even though she's a Hollywood starlet. Josh Allen's winning everywhere. Everywhere. And he turned down a $15 million endorsement deal. Which one of us would do that? Not this guy. All right. We're going to have a big day as far as our best bets are concerned. It's time, ladies and gentlemen, to lock it in. All right, 10 seconds or less. 1 or 2 nuggets is all that I need. Big Chuck, start us off.
Day Soccer Champions League qualifiers, round 4. Rangers welcome Club Bruges to town. We're going to go with the over 2.75 full-time goals, with Rangers averaging 2.5 at home and Bruges 110 goal on the road. And I put in a little stay on your toes live play just to make sure everyone was tuning in to the very end. Real Madrid and Osasuna and La Liga. We're going to back the over 3. Real Madrid's home matches averaged 3.4 total goals last season.
Boom and boom. Love it. Zeno, you're up.
By the way, I'm still trying to find Charles's bet on my sports book. I'm absolutely lost. Anyway, Nationals first 5 plus a half run here. Jake Irvin, better on the road, better at home than on the road. Mets batting just 198 against him. David Peterson of the Mets has a 7.04 ERA in August. Nats will take advantage here early. And then Brewers, game 2 of their doubleheader tonight against Chicago. Huge pitching advantage. Brandon Woodruff against Jameson Taillon. Taillon first start back off the IL since June 29th. He has an ERA of 6.30 and 2 starts against Milwaukee. Give me the Brewers in game 2 on the money line.
And I'm going to take the Brewers in game 1. I'm going to root for a sweep today so me and Zeno can both cash. The Brewers have just been red hot. They won yesterday, game 1, 7-0. The Cubs have been struggling. So I just like this as a gut play. And then the Phillies and the Braves. Separately, they were minus 190 just about. The Phillies crushed Seattle last night. They're going to do it again today. The Braves, they allowed 13 last night. That will not happen to the White Sox again. You put them together tonight, sort of money line parlay at plus 152. Soupy, bring us home.
Orioles, Red Sox over 9.5. Tomoyuki Sugano, he's allowed 21 home runs this year in the friendly confines of Fenway Park with that green monster. I think he's going to give up a few, along with Walker Buehler, who struggled all season. And then the Yankees money line, minus 144, but I think that juice is worth the squeeze because they are in the friendly confines of Steinbrenner Field going against the Rays. Last time Rondon pitched against the Rays, he went 6 scoreless, allowed only 2 hits.
All right, Marky Muddle, our JTS play of the day is what?
We're going back-to-back with Minnesota Lynx Kayla McBride to get at least 15 points and assists, something she's done in 12 of the last 13 in 5 of her last 6 trips to New York City. And we're going to pair that with Milwaukee Brewers Bryce Terang to get at least 1 hit in Chicago. He's done this in 12 of his last 15 and 9 of his last 10 on the road. Love the spot for both of them. Put them both together for a plus 109, just as sports play of the day.
And you guys have been absolutely going to JTS in droves. It's a great tool in your toolbox as football's on the horizon. Scan the QR code. Use our code BTT30, and we're going to give you the first 30 days for free. You can check out all the cappers, all the algorithms, the advantages, whatever it is you're looking for. Check it out at JTS and support the show. Now, I do got to give flowers out because it's really, really nice to see Mark and Zeno getting along on a show today. So, gentlemen, well done. Any compliments we want to say to each other before we get out of here? No? Okay.
Patty's got.
Producer man, you know what time it is. Give me that one shot. Gentlemen, well done today. Do not forget, subscribe to both of our YouTube channels, BTT and Coaching Company. Now they are completely separate. No more confusion. Thank you for getting it done before the football season, just like I asked. It's now time for you to go out into the world, for you to pay it forward, to be kind to one another, and enjoy sports for what it is. And understand this, there's only one thing left to do, and I believe you all know what that is. You've got your marching orders. Let's take all of these winning tickets, damn it, straight to the pay window. For my entire company, damn it, do I love them all. My man, Big Chuck, Marky Model, Zeno, and Soupy, producer man behind the scenes, always making the show look like $1 million. I am simply the coach, trying to get this train on said track. We grind for you so we can win with you. It's what we're all about every single day. This is Coaching Company, live as always on Stadium. Take care.